Going to dive into your process a little bit more and how you actually go ahead and create a bunch of hooks and angles.
Yeah, so I'll give you guys like the prompt that I use, and then I'll also share like this hook builder. So like this is kind of, I'll give you two examples of a brand that we work with, and I'll show you how we build it live. But this is basically how I design the hooks. Part of me retiring from media buying is I want to do everything outside of Facebook, so I don't have to do things inside of it, because I find that it's more fun to just like design stuff and then have somebody else put it in or build it. So what I do here is like, let's call this a ad set. I'm testing 5 different personas for a product that's a gun case. Somebody who's, going to the range, somebody who's protecting the guns they bought because they're expensive, somebody who is a serious user of the product, so they want like a very particular setup, somebody who values USA made stuff, and somebody who has multiple guns. The objective here is after the first 3 seconds, the rest of the video is the exact same. My goal is, of these 5, can I find a direction? If Made in America works the best, then great. Is my website, does it have American flags? Do all my other ads have American flags? This can inform the entire SKU. I wouldn't do that after one test. I would just keep iterating on it. But this is how I structure it. So I'll have like the 5 tests. I'll just say like what visuals I want to be shown. So like I want a point of view struggle with someone having a disorganized bag and then somebody like fumbling the gear. So it's like problem. This is like a 4-grid video where it shows 4 different scenarios of using the product. And this would be here where it says made in Texas stuff. Like I want to test like headline banners there. So basically, like if I pass this to one of my editors, they can just look for clips that show these particular things, build a headline that has that particular thing, and then generate talking points. If this exists in the content that the client already has, we'll use that. If not, we'll use voice actors to create these. And we might start playing with like, somebody from the South using this accent, or that's a whole other variable to test. But basically, I'll show you how I build this. I have an example here, but I don't use AI to like copy and paste. And in this example right now, I'll show you like if I was to do that, you'll still get a really good output, probably better than 99% of people are doing. But there has to be intention to what one is doing. That's like my answer to everyone, considering the direction where media buying is going, where everything is going to be fully automated, and people are trying to fully automate creatives. And if you don't know why things are put in the way they're put in, then you're setting yourself up to fail. Like right now, if we tested American-made quality and this works, like again, I'm not going to bet the house on this, but I'm going to go 5 ads right now on just the American angle to validate if that works. And then if that works again, I'll go round 3. Cool, still working. Now I can start betting big, doing bigger bets, bigger swings, different concepts, even investing in shoots or whatever it is. But it can just be super validated very quickly with Facebook with minimal risk. So like here's another example, and I'll start building it out for you. So like let's say that same brand has the same exact content, but they want to focus on photographers. Now it's a whole new persona, and it's 5 personas for a sub-persona. So people that are wedding photographers, people that use drones, people that want to protect their equipment, people that live in an area that has all seasons in in a day, or somebody who's an adventure photographer. I'm gonna find, is there a persona between a range goer or a photographer that resonates more. I use AI to give me personas. I also talk to the brand, and the brand has a very good idea. But if I didn't have access to a brand, AI can do a really good job with this. So that's what I'm going to do with you right now. We'll basically build out like a whole thing, and I can show you how I would then brief an editor. And in theory, you can hire somebody in Upwork and just explain to them, like, you can take the transcription of like how I'm describing this process, and then they can just build it out pretty easily, rather than sending like a message to them. I have a whole thing prompted here, like it's a trained model basically. If you have an e-commerce brand, it can be any brand, and then I can basically generate this for you, and then we can see like what the output is. And
Any
you have that.
e-commerce brand. Let's do Purple Mattress.
Purple mattress. Okay.
It's got a new mattress from them, so that one feels extra relevant right now.
Cool. So I'm just going to take my prompt that I have here. I'm just going to paste it And if I'm going to use 5 hooks, let's say like my ad set always has 5 hooks, I'm going to basically ask for 7 hooks. If I only need 3 hooks, then I'll ask for 5. And it's just going to give me the best of that bunch. So in this case, I only want 5 hooks. So I'm going to ask it to generate me 7. I'm going to go purple mattress now. And this is where the beauty of like AI is there like a particular product that you bought?
Not in particular. I guess any
I
of
will just,
their mattresses.
all right. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to open up all of these like accordion stuff. So that won't work because like it's a sliding one. These work well because I can open it up. I want that. I want that. And all I'm going to do on my keyboard is I'm clicking Command A. So I just copied literally, try it again. Command A copies everything here. Command C. And then I'm just going to paste it into Claude. So basically, it's going to read, it has the reviews here. So it has context. There's more FAQs, I guess I can just pop those open too. And you only have to do this once, like for a product. So we'll just one more time. Command A, Command C, bring it in here, paste. And then first I'm going to ask it to give me personas who could buy it, and then it's going to give me the hooks. It's going to design them. And again, this is already trained, so that's why I can like shortcut all this stuff. But let's see what it does.
And how did you train this up previously, or what did you enter into the chat before?
It was a lot of examples of like I would manually do these things, and I'd basically train it on like what was my process if I was to train. First, I trained somebody that was junior to like teach them how to be a data analyst and a creative strategist and a media buyer. And then I was like, there's a certain process here where you start with like, what's the product, what's the offer, what's a persona, then what's the selling points and what's the ad style. And I would like teach them all those things. And then I just took what I would teach, I transcribed it, put it into Claude, and I just kept iterating on it, getting hooks that worked. Additionally, I would go on Upwork and I would talk to other media buyers and like, just teach me your process. How do you design hooks? And I had 3 calls with people, took those transcriptions and I fed it with this model, and I just basically kept iterating on it. So in this case, like what I always looked for is first I want the personas, I want context, then I want it to design the hooks. So in this case, like the hot sleeper, the back pain sufferer, the quality seeker, the couple, the side sleeper, the value maximizer, the tech savvy millennial. It's probably you, you're number 7. So in this case, like again, I'm just gonna blindly follow Claude, but I would spend some time like understanding where do I think the probability of this working the best is. If I might come to a conclusion like I actually don't know, but the brand probably knows. But let's say that I can't access a brand. Here's the 7 hooks that it gave me. Like try one for the hot sleeper solution. And it's saying like for talking point, this is what you should generate with AI or do a voiceover with. For headline banner, this is like the, stuff that you put over, like the direct response stuff. And then the why, I always make AI tell me why it wants me to test something. In this case, it's saying test if temperature regulation drives, people that are hot sleepers. Like maybe that's a feature that matters. So it gave me 7 hooks and I can just start building them in. So like, let's say I'm cool. I like this one. Again, I don't do this. I actually like spend time doing it, but like honestly, I've tested these and they work quite well. So I'll just say that. How I structure, like that's my talking point, my audio track. That's my headline banner. You might say it's like a TikTok comment, but like this, I want this to be a headline banner. And for a visual, this depends on what kind of content you have, but you can say something like, let's say purple mattress has a content, right? Like show a video of someone sleeping comfortably versus tossing. And then the way I would like articulate that is I would just make just make it blue. And you can do like this. So now like this is a split screen video with the headline banner on top. And when I want this to be my talking point. An editor now knows like, look for this clip and I want it to be like halfway down. Look for that clip and I want it to be in the top, and then make a banner. And like we have a brand guideline that we follow, but like you might find a reference thing. Like I want how Purple Mattress typically does it. with their headline banners, and it might look something like this, you know? You want it in that location. But it's really hard to screw this up now for an editor because it's pretty deliberate what you want. You want to show it split screen. Might even be like, cool, like I actually like this. I might want to test the same split screen, but instead of horizontal, I want to test it vertically like that. So now you got like the same video, modular tested. I wouldn't say this is the best test to do if you're trying to find the persona, but it's definitely like worth testing because do you see the difference here?
Love how this is broken down. And I can see how this will give you so many new iterations, like endlessly. And then you can also pass it on to an editor, and it's also just super systemized.
Yeah, so like you can do a whole set of creatives where once you know that this is working, like this persona worked, you can just do now the exact same thing, but there's no headline banner. Like how much of a lift does that do, right? And like that's one approach. You can do this instead of being this headline banner, you can do like a TikTok comment. But again, my hope for this process is like not to do these little iterative stuff because I'll show you how to do that next. It's more of like, cool, that's where we're testing. Let me just do like two more of these, like people that have back pain and like, you might want to show a person giving a testimonial about back pain relief. And then that's like your TikTok comment. And then if I want like a different talking point, this might not work actually, because like for an editor, this is where people get confused. Like if you want a talking point, like you just want a testimonial video cut up here, you don't need to generate an audio track. But if you do like, overly emphasized demonstration, like people might, like they just might want to listen to the audio and just see like somebody reenacting something. But in this case, like I want a customer testimonial with this headline banner on top. And I'll just keep doing this. But again, for a brand that has like does no persona testing, I can promise you this will outperform a random test because it's all like, innovation story, like showing the technology and like 2,800 patents later, this isn't your standard mattress. Like you can just see who you attract and then go from there. So I don't want to like keep going down this path, but like that's what I would do. I would then export this as a PDF, and then like what I would give to an editor is like, here's a reference example of the text style that I want, and you can find an ad like Pet Lab Co. or Athletic Greens, like how they're doing things. You're like, I want it to look like that in this location with this text here with this font. I want you to find clips of person sleeping comfortably and then someone's tossing, and then on the one that someone's tossing, I want you to put like this gradient where it looks like it's overly exaggerated, like do that red X or something like that. That might be an A/B test, and then generate this talking point. Get a voice actor or use a tool like 11 Labs or Play HD and just generate it. And that's pretty much it. You can do a Loom video, transcribe it, give it to them, and then like if they screw it up, it's really hard to screw it up because this is like when you go to a restaurant, like you order the meal, like this is what it is. Can't screw it up. It's visual now. And that's the key to like a brief, is it has to hit three parts. There has to be a written thing of what you're trying to do, a visual example, and then it needs to be put in a way where there's references to it. Like it's visual, like as in a video, visual as in like a graphic or static, and then written. And if I have a example of like a Facebook ad that's live, I'll just reference this, and then that's my brief, basically, without all like the cool docs.
I love how simple this is and how this is almost like the DNA behind it all. And then it's super easy to just hand off to the editor. And then, I mean, they basically know exactly what to do. As you say, like, it's hard to mess it up.
Yeah.